Hey, homebodies, Ashley here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a quick moment to share with you a new company that I have joined, and I am super excited to share more about it with you. KINS is Physical Therapy Reimagined. It is an all inclusive physical therapy app designed for convenience. Through the KINS app or their website, kins.com, you can check your insurance eligibility. Yes, KINS is in network with most major insurance companies. And you can enter a bit about the problem that you're currently experiencing and then get matched with an expert physical therapy provider. You can even book your first appointment online. Your appointments can be done 100% virtually from the comfort of your own home and will include one-on-one video appointments with a physical therapist and access to a personalized library of exercises, in addition to in-app messaging where you can ask your physical therapist questions at any time. If you aren't familiar with me and my background, I am a physical therapist with over 10 years of experience and specialize in geriatrics, chronic pain, and pelvic health. KINS Virtual Care is especially designed for those experiencing pelvic health concerns, including pregnancy-related pain, birth prep, postpartum care, bowel and bladder issues, pelvic pain, and many more. And if you're wondering if virtual pelvic health physical therapy can actually help, the answer is yes. Recent research has shown that virtual care for pelvic health can be just as effective as in-person care for a variety of conditions. And if you end up needing a referral for an in-person provider, we are happy to help you out with that. If you live anywhere in Massachusetts, you can ask for me, Ashley Drake, and a KINS representative will set you up with an initial visit where we will do a deep dive into your story, your medical background, and then we will come up with a treatment plan that works for you. Hope to see you there. Now on to the episode. Welcome to Haunted Homebodies, where Halloween isn't just a day, it's a lifestyle. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Sarah, and we're your guides through the delightfully dark corners of comfort horror.
Grab your PJs and your poison.
It's time to have a seance. You look cute in a headband. Looks very cute.
Yes. So, I mean, in a nutshell, I'm entering my postpartum mom. I mean, I don't even, like, how long can you say you're postpartum? Can I say that forever?
Yeah. As long as you still have things happening to you
Postpartum
because
symptoms.
of it. Yeah.
True. And I'm, I'm less than 2 years out, so I'm going to say I'm still postpartum. But I had, like...
You're significantly less than. You're barely 1 year out.
How old is my baby? 14 months. 14 months. Yeah, it's just been a little over a year, but... Yeah, the anxiety schmiety. I'm trying to write anxiety and schmiety. That doesn't really work. That was hard. Learning to be a parent, really hard. Losing a lot of your hair, not great.
Yeah.
But the regrowth period has just been so brutal. Like, I know a lot of women don't feel super like themselves after giving birth, and I definitely felt that way. Just like your body is completely different, like the shape of everything is different. My feet, like none of my shoes fit me anymore because my feet grew like an extra half a size and stayed there. Yeah, just everything is so different, and in some ways it was really beautiful because there's like certain parts of your body, like say like your boobs, where for so long you're just like, I wish I had bigger boobs or perkier boobs or this or that. And then, for those of us that choose to breastfeed, they just become like this way that you're keeping your baby alive and this way to connect to them. And they just became, I'm like, these like little milk bags. Like, I love them. Yeah. Yeah. I love when I have these like incredibly articulate moments where I'm like, you know what? I should start a podcast where I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay. Cool.
People don't listen to us for being articulate. I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, not many
that
people
can't
listen
be
to us
true.
anyway, but
Oh man. For those of you that are here and have been here, we love you and appreciate you. And we will remember this when we become rich and famous. Anyone who engages with our social media. All right, let me do a quick shout outs to Chris, my husband, killing it on the comments.
Yes.
Courtney, my sister, engaging with everything. She may be the only person who is actually engaged with everything. Love her for it.
Yes.
My aunt, Hillary, at Painted Brick Studios, she is the nicest on Instagram. I mean, if anyone wants to be featured, if anyone wants to send us a ghost story, like I would love to start doing listener ghost stories pretty soon.
Oh my
if
God,
people would send us
please.
stuff, even just one, like we will read it. We will share it.
Send us
Now
a
is the
ghost
time.
story. We would love it.
Anyone. Speaking of ghost stories, I'm like, have I said this yet on the podcast that I have ADHD? I feel like I constantly talk about how I have anxiety and ADHD. Oh, I can't even talk.
Makes sense.
I constantly am talking about how I have anxiety and ADHD. It is clearly a core part of my personality. I'm one of those like late diagnosed adults who's like, this is my identity now because I suffered for so long
Seems
without
fair.
answers. And now I'm like, okay, a lot of things make sense. But anywho, this has nothing to do with what I'm saying, really. But we have our scary story segment of the podcast. And I would say we've been a little bit experimental with it. We've been trying different story formats. I've done a little fiction, a little nonfiction. It's all been, creepy, horror-esque, but kind of didn't really know like where we wanted to go with it.
Right.
And then I was like, we're called the Haunted Homebodies. Like what I really wanted, and I have subliminally inserted into our podcast, what I have wanted, my dream podcast, my whole life, is to have a cozy horror movie podcast that's like horror movies that aren't that horrific, plus paranormal, like ghost stories, like both in one episode. Here we are. We've arrived.
It's perfect. And I know for a fact that you are not the only human who wants that out in the world. I mean, here's two.
Yeah.
There are two people here
One,
who
two,
want that.
at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
it's
so excited.
Yeah. So we did mention a little bit that we have been really trying to lean into our social media a little bit more and build community, and we want people to submit their stories, and we will put in like more formal requests for ghost / paranormal stories in the future. But it has been like really fun. I'm not a social media person, but the horror / Halloween community on Instagram is just like so lovely. Like the nicest people.
They're like dedicated, like with this singular mindset to something that just makes them happy. They're like, this is what I like, and I want to connect with other people who like this, and I want to share it. And it's such a positive, comfy little space.
Totally. And I can feel my body and my soul like being pulled in that direction. It's like, this is you. Like, this is the mirror. It's holding up the mirror and being like, do it. You will love it. Like,
Yes.
Halloween, everything, everywhere.
But it feels to me not like a pull, but like how I described a few episodes ago about how like, oh, I've always been into this. I just haven't really recognized that. I feel like this is broadening my understanding of that and what I love.
Absolutely. And I can just imagine like our backgrounds are already starting to evolve. Like our looks are gonna start to evolve. Like I would love if you just went like full goth by the end of this. Well, there will hopefully be no end of the podcast, but you know what I mean. In the future, you're just gonna have like a nose ring and
it's kind of the dream.
Yeah, black lipstick. You'll just be like full Fairuza Balk in The Craft.
I love that. I'm ready for it.
I'm not ready if you did that. That would be extremely jarring after 35 years, but I would fully support you. I'm just trying to imagine because you have such a nice, like, school teacher look to you.
Should we confess our one thing that we do not share the same taste in the Halloween community?
Uh-oh. You want to do it already?
We don't have to. We can cut this whole segment.
No, we should do it.
We can do it while we're talking about it.
People are going to be like, what is it? It's such a letdown.
This feels pretty serious.
All right, you say it. You brought it up. You got to out us.
Okay. I respect those who do. I respect it, and I love this for you.
We are open-minded people.
We are open-minded. But I don't like pumpkin spice things.
No, I don't.
It's not for me.
Well, I don't know if I dislike it. I do not get excited. I get excited about it because I'm like, I should love this. It's festive as fuck.
Yeah.
It's so warm. It's so cozy. It's so fall. It's so Halloween. It's everything. I don't really like it.
I would agree. I love the excitement that's like generated around the time of the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte season. Like, and I'm like, this should be for me. The flavors they're not for me. They're not for me.
And then you go to Trader Joe's and it's like pumpkin spice everywhere. And I'm like, I want to bring you home with me. And then I do. I still fall into the trap of thinking I'm going to like it. And then I just don't like it.
Now, there are some pumpkin flavored things I like. Like, I love a good pumpkin bread.
Okay, yep.
Pumpkin bread, that sounds great. And I think that might be the end of my list. Now I'm saying it out loud.
Pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin pie.
You like it all right. Yeah.
You're a monster.
I know. That's it. And
that's it.
Everything else. We vibe with everything else.
I think pretty much everything else. Well, anyway, we love you, Halloween horror community. We're excited to be here, and we are excited to really join you.
Yes, thank you for welcoming us.
As gradually or not gradually as our budgets will allow us to.
The backgrounds are starting.
They are starting. Things are going to escalate from here. I can guarantee that.
So today we are talking about the Addams Family, which, Ashley, I have no memories of like anything that actually happened in this movie. I'm sure I saw it as a child. I am aware of it from like the memes and the references, but I was not prepared for how delightful this was going to be.
I totally agree. I feel like a lot of these movies are childhood watches, and unless something dramatic happened or it really struck us, we don't have a lot of great memories of the first watch.
Yeah.
But I definitely have a vague-ish memory of watching it when I lived in, and everyone is going to be extremely jealous of me when I say this, I lived for about a year or so in Salem, Massachusetts. That is the Halloween horror capital of the world, I would say. And it's everything you think it would be. Would I move back there? No, I would not. Fair. There are other parts of the area that it's just not for me. It's like just a little bit too much. It's very Boston-esque, it still is that kind of city vibe, even though it's like far less of a city than Boston in terms of like size and stuff going on. But anywho, super fun, super witchy. I lived in a little apartment. It was in the doesn't sound charming, it was in the basement of someone's house, but it was super cute. I will say it was garden level. The house was gorgeous. It was like this old purple house with green shutters, and my little apartment was this peach color. I had this cozy little heater that had like little flames that you could see when it turned on. It was just very cute. Anyway, where were we going with this? I lived in Salem and watched the Addams Family in this fun little spooky town. And I remember just thinking that it was a whole vibe and it was really fun. I don't remember anything specific. And then rewatching it, I had the same exact feeling. It's a whole vibe. It's so fun. Not super memorable in any specific way,
Yeah, I think that's fair. There's like, I was just about to say there's no plot twist, and like I guess there kind of is, but like it's really not important at all to the feel of the movie. But with that said, this is the first movie we watched where I've been like, immediately, I want to watch that again.
Totally.
Loved every moment of it.
Me too. So fun. So cute. I love every character. And obviously we've seen, like, you've watched Wednesday, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of
So
course.
we're familiar with these characters. We're familiar with like the lore surrounding the Addams family.
Yeah.
But I couldn't place this movie specifically.
Nope, not
And
at all.
there's been like cartoons, there's been all sorts of stuff, and I haven't seen all of it. But I really enjoyed it. But
Me
light on the
too.
plot. Light on the
Light
plot.
on the plot. Well, let me back up. I
Let's get
skipped
into it.
ahead.
Yeah.
So, The Addams Family was released on November 22nd, 1991. Feel like they really missed an opportunity for a Halloween release there, but
Yeah, there must be things that go on. Like, of course there are, right? In Hollywood with release dates, because there are so many movies where I'm like, this is just bizarre. Like the latest Scream 6 was set around Halloween and came out in like March. It's like, why are we doing this right now?
it seems so bizarre.
I
don't
would want to
know.
watch. You want to watch scary movies the most around Halloween,
Yeah.
anyway, just
Yeah.
because. But when you're actually having like Halloween scenes in the movie, people dressing up, we're really leaning into that, and then March, Halloween in March. I mean, it's
I don't
Halloween all year
understand.
here,
Yeah,
so
it
we're
is
good.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
But yeah,
no
November.
complaints.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I apparently have a lot of
November.
thoughts about us being in November.
Oh,
Let's move on.
strange. Anyway, so Google classifies this as a horror/family movie, which does make this, of the 6 movies we have watched for the pod so far, the one with the least number of genres identified. So very proud of us for
no
that.
No notes on that. That seems
Horror
appropriate. Moving
family
on.
movie.
Yep.
It's got a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 81% of Google users like this movie. Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong. Not enough.
I'm nodding more because I'm like, yeah, like of course critics would be like, you know.
Yeah, but they're wrong.
Yeah, which they always are. Like, I don't really give a shit. The 81%, I'm like, what are the other 19% of you doing?
What were you even watching? Yeah.
Are you not entertained? Like, it is exactly what you think it's going to be. It delivers it on a silver platter for you.
And it does it so well.
Yeah,
also.
agreed. The casting, everything.
Oh
we'll
my
get
God.
into it.
Yes. All right. If you all want to watch this for the first time or again, which you should, I want to be clear, and I think this is the first time I'm just going to say this. Go watch this movie. It is
Yeah.
so much fun.
You'll have a fun time.
It's currently streaming on Netflix and Pluto TV. So let's just do a quick plot recap because, as stated, that's not what's
We're
important
not here
about
for the
this
plot.
movie.
Yeah.
No, not here for the plot. So we meet the Addams family. We've got Gomez, played by Raul Julia. We have Morticia, played by Angelica Houston. We have Wednesday, played by a little tiny baby Christina Ricci. Amazing. We have Pugsley, which is just a phenomenal name to name a little boy, and also purely coincidental. I am wearing a very Pugsley-like striped sweater today. This one wasn't on purpose.
I love it.
I am Pugsley. And of course we have Lurch and Thing, who is the little hand, the creepy little hand.
Thank you
Thing
for the
is a lot
demo.
of fun.
We
You're
all know what a
welcome.
hand is, Sarah.
This is why you should watch the video podcast.
Like he's a hand.
All right, so we find out they're creepy and they're kooky. The theme song tells us all about it. Also, one of like the better theme songs in cinematic history.
It starts with a Christmas scene.
Yes,
I did
it
not
does.
remember that. It's so fun.
Maybe that's why they released it in November. They just wanted to split the time.
That's true.
Yep. So we meet the Addams family. We learn that Gomez has been really missing his brother. His name is Fester, who has been lost for 25 years. He got lost in the Bermuda Triangle. And they're going to do a seance to try to bring him back.
Naturally.
Yeah. And then we get some plot set up. So we meet this lawyer named Tully who owes money to this nasty woman named Abigail Craven. She's very greedy. And Abigail's got this really creepy looking son. His name is Gordon. And it turns out that he looks exactly like Fester. Now, this lawyer works for the Addams family. And they hatch this plot, this scheme for Gordon to pretend to be Fester in order to steal the Addams family fortune. The lawyer gets invited to the seance because the Addams family may be super weird, but they are very friendly, welcoming people.
So lovely.
They are.
So inclusive.
So like they wanted some friends around. They want some friendly faces. So they're invited to the seance. It's a big dramatic scene, and then Gordon shows up pretending to be Fester. And because the family is so welcoming, they've got no questions. They think Fester is back. They accept him. He moves in with them. They have some Addams family hijinks with him. He seems, like a little off put by some of it, but he's like figuring it out. And his mom is around pretending to be this like German doctor who found him in the Bermuda Triangle after he got back. I don't know. And so she's still got her fingers in everything that's happening. But some members of the family start to get a little suspicious. Like Wednesday in particular is like, that doesn't make sense. And nobody gets out of the Bermuda Triangle because Wednesday is an expert in the Bermuda Triangle because of course she is.
Right.
Morticia takes Gordon / Fester on this walk through the family graveyard, talking about family loyalty and giving us some excellent stories of some Addams family ancestors. It seems like there's they're questioning a little bit. But things go on. They're still accepting him. So then we get to where the plot really is. Abigail is like really anxious to get this fortune, and the Addams family hosts a party for Fester, and she's like, okay, well, this is the time, like we're gonna make it happen. During this party, by the way, there's just this fantastic ballroom dance scene where Gomez and Fester perform this family dance known as the mamushka.
Mamushka, it's so good.
Excellent. It's an excellent scene. So at the party, Gordon is not able to find this vault that's got the family fortune. Abigail's unhappy about it, and Wednesday overhears what's going on. So all of her suspicions have been confirmed. Gordon tries to catch her, and ultimately they're unsuccessful in stealing the fortune. But then this lawyer is like, I've got an idea. And he is able to prove to a court that Fester, as the older brother, actually is the one who inherited the mansion and the fortune, and they kick out the family. Which is
so sad.
Very sad. Yeah. Very sad.
Kind of done comically, though.
Hilariously.
Morticia having to get a job. So funny.
One of the best lines is when Gomez says, they say that a man who represents himself in court has a fool for a client, and with God as my witness, I am that fool.
I wasn't expecting to love Gomez as much as I did.
He's so funny and so loving.
Yeah.
And he's sure of himself. He's very sure of himself.
I love how he was constantly sword fighting the lawyer.
Yes.
So fun.
Like a constant threat of death, but like also a constant threat of fun through the whole
friendship.
Movie. Yes, a friendship.
Friendship is the greatest gift, some might say.
Friendship and family.
My dad had us sit around in a circle when we were children and hold hands and said that to us. How old do you think we were when he did that?
I want to say like between 10 and 12.
Yeah. And we all just, we didn't even have to say it. He just was like, hold hands. And then he just looked at us and said, friendship is the greatest gift.
It was kind of
here we are.
like a Clark version of a seance.
That's so
You know?
true. A friendship seance. I
It was
mean,
great.
it worked. I don't
It
remember who else
did.
was there, do you?
Nope.
There were other people there that night, but I remember you were there.
We were the
And
only
here we are.
friendship gift.
It's okay. It's good. It's
There
good
was
enough for me.
there was a circle. All right. So they're in the house. The lawyer, his mom, or the lawyer, Gordon's mom. They still can't find the fortune. They get Morticia. They're torturing her, which, you know, Morticia is no stranger to because her and Gomez
Reasons.
have reasons because of reasons. But then during the raid of the vault, Gordon gets his memory back, and it turns out that he actually was the real Fester all along, and that's why he started to love the family while he was there. It turns out it was really him, and he gets them all out of it. He unleashes a hurricane with this magic book that he opens because he now remembers how everything works. He gets rid of his mom, who wasn't really his mom, the lawyer, and we have a happy ending, and everybody is back together. And that was a wild recap.
You took us places and you took us there fast, but you hit all the all the main points there. When you don't remember the first time you watched a movie, you don't know like how the twist hit you.
Right. Yeah.
And so I knew enough. I remembered enough to know this was coming.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that twist had truly surprised me at some point in my life, it is just the best, the best possible twist. I love it.
Because everything about this movie is strangely and somehow so wholesome, and they get
so
the
wholesome.
happiest ending, which, by the way, fun fact, that was not the original end of the movie, but the cast got together and they were like, no, it should really have been the real Fester all along. In the original one, I think they just accepted Gordon, which I think is also lovely.
That's
like
cute,
Gordon really
yeah.
came to love them. But the cast got together and they were like, no, it should have been the real Fester.
Yeah.
And they voted. And little Christina Ricci went and talked to the director about it.
Really? Oh, that is so cute. No,
I
it's
know.
perfect. I like this better because I think it makes the whole continuity of the plot work, and then his questioning makes more sense of like him feeling like he really does fit in, but also like he obviously had this like very abusive captor
Yes.
who called her mother, you know, that's what she went by, that she was the mom, but she was obviously just a terrible woman.
Yes.
So I like it. It's not super twisty. I mean, it's one of those ones where you watch it more than once and you're like, how could this ever have we not seen it coming? You know,
Right.
the way that they present Fester at the beginning of the movie. By the way,
Yes.
Christopher Lloyd is one of my favorite actors.
I know.
I love him so much, but he looks so much like Fester, and at the beginning to make him like look like quote unquote Gordon, they just have this like little toupee curly like, it's so silly, and he's wearing like a cable knit sweater, but he has like the white like ghoulish makeup with like the black around his eyes. It's amazing.
It's so goofy.
And then the moment where the wheels are turning, where they're hatching this plot, and the lawyer imagines Gordon as Fester, and just like his hair disappears, and it's like, oh, like literally that's it. And then we're like, oh, you look exactly the same. It's not like, oh, we need to do a makeover now, we just need to shave your head and change you into a weird cloak and we're good to go.
And they were. But that's part of like, that is one of the only things that makes this feel to me like a movie for children. Because the rest of it hits so hard as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah, it is really funny that this is our first technical family film.
Yes.
And it's definitely of the time in the 90s where they were like, just make sure the jokes go over the kids' heads. And then you watch it as an adult and it is intense.
I mean, Morticia and Gomez, their relationship.
That is possibly the one thing that I don't like about the movie in general, is it's just like a bit much. Like, I've never been a fan of PDA, and this is just like,
oh, they love each other.
The most obnoxious PDA couple ever.
Oh, but I love it. They're just so obsessed with each other. They met at a funeral. Sweet in that way.
Right, and they're the true soulmate definition, right? Yes. Where you're just like, these two people were created to be with each other. It's very sweet, but
it is. Well,
you know, I'm never one to lean into the romance plot line. I'm always like, all right, anyway.
Yeah, that's very nice. They're very like sweet, already together, and you know, I view that more as just part of the overall family dynamic, which totally brings me to my first question. Can you name a single, healthier, more loving family dynamic that has ever been shown in another movie or TV show?
One came to mind immediately.
Okay.
At first, my instant answer was going to be no.
It's pretty solid.
Right. Very solid in its own. It works perfectly in its very bizarre way. But I was thinking of Ugly Betty, Betty's family.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
You're like, eh.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a very good family dynamic. I will give you that. Okay.
If the question is, are they better than the Addams family?
I'll put them on par.
No.
They're so supportive of their weird children who just to jog your memory of some of the scenes. There's a scene where Wednesday is about to electrocute Pugsley and Morticia comes in and she's like, we're going to be late. And Wednesday's like, but I wanna. And she goes, okay.
Yeah, there's parts in the movie where, you know, they're like actively about to like stab each other or maim each other or kill each other in some like grotesque way. Yeah. And Morticia's like, just like save it for later, not like, please don't kill your brother.
They're just supportive of their passions and hobbies.
Oh, it's really so bizarre and funny, and in a weird way I was like, well, how can I channel this into my own parenting?
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope that Jed's passion is not like electric chairs and machetes, but if it is,
probably
we'll figure it out.
Be.
Well,
yes.
I mean, I am his mom.
It's true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
He's going to be exposed to horror movies far too soon. I'm just confident on that already, because I'm going to be like, the Addams Family isn't scary, and then he's going to have like nightmares about Fester. He'll be like, I'm 3 years old. Why does Fester look like that? Why is there a hand running around? And I'm like, oh.
No, I think it's cozy. I think it's a cozy
that
movie.
Is what we think. And then you show it to your 3-year-old, and they're like, trauma. And then they grow up to be like us.
It does have a PG-13 rating.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah. They were really going for a PG rating, but it's pretty dark.
Okay. So why is it called a family movie then?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. I think it is a family
the rating's
movie.
Wrong. We were
yes.
the classification.
Yes.
It's off.
Yes.
Oh well.
Put us in charge of all of these things. Okay, so I just called the whole movie cozy. Do you think the Addams Family house is cozy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think it's definitely because of the family living in it and because it's so them. I love Victorian houses. This could have been done in a way that was more, I would say, like in the vein of like if they made the practical magic house like more goth, then that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But this was a little more barren, a little less homey, obviously just like full of their bizarre tchotchke and collectibles, murder apparatuses, etc. But I still think so. I really enjoyed the house, but it could have been stronger, potentially.
Yeah. I think I struggle with this one. There's a lot of like it's very dark, it's very goth, like you said. And it's very big and open. It's very spacious in a way that's a little less cozy for me. But parts of it are cozy, and it's like it's nice that it's full of things that they love and they're all their little hobbies, and Morticia beheading roses, and it's cozy for them. It's cozy
It
for
works.
them.
It
Yeah.
works. It would not be on like my top 5 horror houses that I would
Yeah.
want to live in, but I like it.
I'd love
Maybe
to
that's
go.
Yeah, maybe that's what
Yeah.
it is. It's like, is it
Yeah.
cozy? Maybe not so much, but do I like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
do.
Okay. Fair. I love it. All right. So I feel like when I was watching this movie, like every line was quotable. Like every single line was funny or had a double entendre or was clever in some way. Like this was a really well written movie. I loved it. I kind of wanted to quote the entire movie here, but instead I will just once again plead, go watch this movie.
Right.
But anyway, is there any particular one quote or scene that just lives rent free in your brain since watching this?
The one that, but first, I agree. I agree. It is their sense of humor, their dry, witty, deadpan. Like Gomez isn't deadpan, but Morticia and Wednesday are just my kind of girls. Like we would vibe. We would have the most monotone conversations known to man.
Yes.
I love it. I really like the scene where Pugsley and Wednesday are selling their version of lemonade.
Yes.
And the Girl Scout comes up trying to do a trade, and I don't know, it says something about she has an almond mom or something, because she's like, she's definitely never eaten any of the Girl Scout cookies, let's put it that way.
Yes.
She's like, is it organic lemonade or something? Is it made out of real lemons? Like, accusing them of using powdered mix or something terrible.
By the way,
that.
on their table, it's just like a bunch of poisons.
It says poison.
Yeah.
It's just poison. And of course, Wednesday's reply to that is not like yes or it's poison. It's something about like, are the Girl Scout cookies made of real Girl Scouts?
So good.
And then the Girl
Such a
Scout
good
just
one.
looks at her and then walks away.
Yes. That's a beautiful one. I love that one.
What's yours?
So one of my favorite quotes is, it's Wednesday on Halloween and she's just dressed like normal. And someone asks her, like, where's your costume? And she says, this is my costume. I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everybody else.
That's so good.
It's perfect. She is so good. And then the scene that has nothing to do with any lines that I cannot stop thinking about is the school play that Wednesday and Pugsley do. It's like a talent show, and they do a scene, and I think it's supposed to be Shakespeare. There's like one line from Hamlet in it, and otherwise it's kind of a loose interpretation. And they have these special effects. They're sword fighting, and they both end up bleeding, and the fake blood just sprays everywhere, and it just keeps going and going and going and drenching all of these parents in the audience.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, their family, they've got Morticia and Gomez and Fester there, who are just like over the moon and amazed at how good it is, and everyone else is truly drenched in fake blood and horrified.
So funny. That is the definition of camp right there.
Yes.
So funny. It's so over the top and could be seen as gross by some, but it's delightful to us.
Truly.
It was a great scene. And they were able to put on that whole extra part of their performance because Uncle Fester had helped them after, he kind of was like, oh, he said he was going to help them after he was bonding with them. And then evil mommy like reined him back in, and then he came back around and was like, I am gonna help you. And it was like
and
so sweet and wholesome.
That was before he remembered he was Fester.
Right.
I
Right.
know.
He was just vibing with them all.
I know. Oh, I love it. That scene is good. And like they were obviously so dedicated to the preparation and the performance.
Oh, it was great.
Just
so
phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Oh, I love it.
Great movie.
Phenomenal movie. I cannot recommend enough watching it as an adult. I'm gonna go rewatch it again very soon.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be on the close rotation. You know, it's gonna be like on the short list, I think.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but it's
it
going
may be
on
on
the rewatch.
My top 10, maybe. I don't know. I need to start making a list.
I understand you have a game for us, Ashley.
Of course. Of course. I don't remember what made me think of this. Do I understand how my brain works? No, I do not. Works in mysterious ways. This isn't that sophisticated of a game. I feel like I'm overhyping it. I just thought it would be fun to choose for ourselves and for each other which member of the Addams family we would be. Like, if we were to be one of them, who would it be? And we're going to see if we have some similarities here, and go from there. Also, on a fun little note, let me switch over my document here. I, as you know, tend to say, like, let's do this casual little game. It'll take me 5 minutes. And then suddenly, I am on a website that describes the personality types of every single member of the Addams family. Did I read them all? Yes. Will I share some of it with you now? Also, yes.
Yay. This is fantastic.
I will go first.
Okay.
My pick for myself. I think that I am most like Morticia.
Okay.
That is my pick. When I would have said Wednesday, probably before becoming a mom. Now I'm in my Morticia era. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, so I've definitely used to be a little more flat, like depressed. I wasn't as animated. Like, I definitely had that kind of like vibe that they have, that very flat, dry sense of humor. I'm not bubbly. I'm like the anti-bubbly. Was for a long time, especially in my college days. I call them my gremlin years. I was just struggling a bit. But I was thinking about it, and I was like, am I Uncle Fester? I was feeling like maybe I almost said like Morticia on the streets, and but no, I'm not going to finish that sentence.
No. At least you're not Morticia, not on the streets.
Thinking like Morticia is more my outward persona, and then Uncle Fester is more like kind of my lighthearted self at home. And then I was like, no, I'm not Uncle Fester, but my husband is. He has got that total like goofball, fun time guy energy. So I think I was I tend to kind of adopt and adapt. Like, I'm a little bit of a chameleon. Like, whoever I'm hanging out with, I end up acting more like them, because I'm just like a kind of like a open got an open energy field, and I just let people come on in. For better or worse, which is why I have a very small circle of people that I really enjoy to be around and are lovely. Anyway, that is my choice for myself. I do want to go deeper because of who I am as a person. So, Morticia, I'm going to tell you, you're familiar with the Myers-Briggs, I assume.
Yes.
And the Enneagram?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I have those bits of information for the members of the Addams family, courtesy of a website that I will link in the show notes.
It's amazing.
Morticia is a 9 wing 1 on the Enneagram.
Okay.
Same. Okay, that is mine. She's also an INFJ on the Myers-Briggs. Same. Okay. So it's sold. I'm Morticia. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it happened.
I have to tell you that Uncle Fester, he is an ENFP, a 7 wing 6. So he's like the adventurer kind of guy. And then I have in my notes, my last thought on myself is, okay, so I'm claiming that I'm Morticia, but visually and spiritually, I'm Lurch. Like, we can't avoid that.
I love Lurch. Lurch is amazing. Lurch is great.
I think maybe I'm Lurch, and you probably felt bad and didn't want to pick that for me, but please reveal your choice. I'm ready.
Okay, so I am going to go with Wednesday for you. And probably that is because I am thinking a lot about, and just stick with me here, our dynamic as kids.
Oh, no.
And I think that to a very gentle degree and with the same amount of love, you were Wednesday and I was Pugsley.
Oh, no. As you were saying that, I was like, yeah, she's right. Yes. Oh, she's right.
In a lovely way.
I've apologized to you on the podcast before for not always being that nice to you.
An apology. And for our listeners, I was never electrocuted.
No.
Knives were never thrown at me.
No. Not even a threat of that.
Never in danger.
No.
But you know, you are very, very intelligent, which Wednesday is definitely the smartest member of the Addams family. You have a delightfully dark little soul, just like her.
True.
And I think that you helped push me out of my comfort zone sometimes. And I also just kind of went along with it, with like whatever Ashley said, just like Pugsley.
Okay, I wish now that we had just, well, it's decided, right? Wednesday and you're Pugsley, you're dressed up as Pugsley. Can we do like a costume? We're going to dress up as them at some point together.
Yes,
I'll be Wednesday
absolutely.
and you'll be Pugsley. It'll be really fun.
I can't wait.
Sold. Okay.
I'm ready.
You are ready. You have half your costume. Yes. I am excited to go shopping, and I will grow my hair out and dye it black.
Great.
For the night. All right. Okay. So I'm fine. That's fine. I would say that Wednesday certainly crossed my mind as a pick for myself. And I think that I am less, like I said, I'm less like Wednesday now. Mm-hmm. I would have said, if you had asked me this question in college, like 100%, there's no question. But I don't know, maybe you'll have to agree, because like otherwise, like, you're a monster. But I think I have become like a little softer, warmer,
very
less flat, less surly. I'm not I used to be kind of surly. I'm not really surly. Like, every now and again it'll come out, and like, you've seen it. Like, I can't hide things from you. We're just like around each other too much for me to,
delightful part of our adult lives,
right? Like, we do not mask any of our traits or moods from each other. No. It's just right out there.
Great.
So you've seen the good and the bad. But yeah, I would say I am Wednesday going on Morticia, but
I think that feels very right to me.
They're
and
pretty similar, I would say. They're pretty similar.
And I love both of them.
Agreed.
A lot.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to my pick for you.
Okay.
I'm having regrets.
Besides Pugsley, we already did Pugsley.
I didn't pick Pugsley. I regret not picking him. Also, now that we're face to face, I'm like, do I feel good about what I'm going to say to you?
Oh, now I'm excited.
It's a weird pick. Okay, my first instinct was grandmama, who we haven't talked about.
Honestly, yes. That's
right?
Amazing.
It was my initial instinct, and I was like, I think it's not all the way there, but it's close enough.
I bring grandma energy, and
that
I am
is
proud
literally
of
what
that.
It says in my notes. You just have, I'll quote myself here. You just have a real grandmother energy about you, and also have a similar cynical sense of humor.
You know what?
Yes. You have a very cynical, like, I have a dark, dry sense of humor. You have a very cynical sense of humor.
So one of my favorite grandma scenes from this movie, she's cooking and she's got two cookbooks out, and one is The Joy of Cooking and the other one is Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my God, I did not notice that detail.
She's amazing.
This is a movie where I feel like after many watches, you can keep picking up on those little details. Like there isn't a lot of things in the plot that you're like, oh, I missed that detail.
No.
But I feel like these little Easter eggs in the scene would be really fun to pick out like that.
It's
I
very
did not
thoughtfully
notice,
done.
but
Yeah.
it sounds on point to say the least. So Grandmama is Enneagram 9 wing 8 and a Myers
forget my-
ESTP. I was going to ask. I should have told you to look it up.
Yeah, I forget my wing. I could probably get that. I actually don't know what my
You are a
Myers-Briggs
type 9
is.
though, right?
I am
Like
a type
that-
9. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8 is the leader, and then 1 is I think it's like the reformer. So it's either that you're a bit more like towards the like leadership more. You're probably a 9 wing 1. I'm thinking it's more like you have more sense of like black and white. Like even though you just want peace, you still have like thoughts and feelings on.
That feels right.
Yeah.
Feels right.
Oh, and do
Right.
you know your Myers-Briggs?
I don't.
Yeah. Are
It's
you
been a
well?
long time.
I actually, this is weird since I've known you my entire life, but do you identify as an introvert or an extrovert?
I identify as an introvert when defined in like that classic way of energy is drained
Yeah.
being around people.
Not, yeah. And you
Yeah.
need to recharge alone.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I could see you being either. You're one of those people that I feel like is very like friendly and outgoing, but it must be like just an effort for you.
I refer to it
Energetically.
as extroverted introvert, but I do
Yeah.
not know if that's correct.
No, people use that, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I'm an introverted introvert for sure. I'm like, please no one talk to me or ask me to
Yeah.
hang out.
Yeah.
But also like text me because I get lonely.
Oh.
Oh, that was sad. No, I'm okay now, but like
Yeah.
I have I have a husband and a baby. I'm never alone.
You and I text every day.
We do, which is so great.
Yeah.
We used to go like 6 months, I would say would be like our longest stretch. No
Yeah.
contact, no
Yeah.
contact.
It would be fine when we had contact. That'd
it
be
would-
lovely.
there was an
But,
understanding
this
there.
is- Yeah, this is a like delightful new
This
part
is
of adult
way
life.
more fun.
Thank you, podcasting.
I know. It's definitely it's almost like has to have that business energy though, because we're both not people who are like on our phones wanting to constantly be
Yes.
like talking to people or reaching out. Like you are someone who would just be like, oops, like I didn't get back to you like for 2 weeks.
By someone, when you say would have, you mean someone who has definitely done that.
Yeah,
Hello,
for
all
sure.
of my friends that I have not texted back for weeks listening to
Right.
the pod.
So
Thanks
the
for
only
still
reason-
liking me.
The only reason we're talking typically is about the podcast.
Yes.
But the fun, like personal updates, like I feel like we're much more involved in each other's lives now, which is
Yeah.
really fun.
Yes, I love it. I really
Yeah,
do.
that's great. Okay, I did have another character picked out for you before
Okay.
you tell me yours. Cousin It.
Okay, so I almost chose, and then I was like, "This is not a member of the Addams family."
Oh, well, he's a cousin.
almost
He's cousin.
no, that's not who I was going to
Okay,
choose.
okay.
This is my preamble. I almost chose Margaret, the
one who
wife
marries?
of the lawyer who marries.
Yes.
to
I did
the
too.
end.
I did too. No, I thought, but then I was like, she's kind of them as a couple. You know?
I will
If they-
take it. Give me your reasons why.
Yeah,
Tell
I'll
me
tell you.
more.
It's pretty brief. I said you have nice hair, are very smart, and
you.
you're likable.
Oh, thanks.
Apparently,
Thanks.
Cousin It is very intelligent.
Yeah, I
He's
think
just sneaky about it because he doesn't speak English, but somehow
People
everyone
understand
understands him.
though.
I don't get it, but I like that.
He's amazing. I love that woman who was scared of everything ended up with him, and I feel like that's what I relate to. Is just like the ability to be pleasantly surprised by
Yes.
people and experiences.
Yes, she
Yeah.
was totally put off by him, and then
Yeah.
like by the end of the night, she was like, "Please take me home with you in your weird little car that I love." So Cousin It is
It's a
a
highlight.
Oh, totally. So let me give you his stats. He's
Okay.
a 9. He's also a 9 wing 8 and an ESFP, so not an ESS. Holy alphabet soup. So Grandmama was an ESTP and Cousin It was an ESFP. Now I want to say that I made these choices before finding this personality site. So I feel like
did good.
I mean, you're an introvert, not an extrovert. You're kind of like, I feel like so everything to me on Earth. This is my stance, okay? If we haven't been clear enough that we are a liberal podcast, here it is. Everything to me is a spectrum, and that includes introversion and extroversion. Yes. I feel like you are probably like, I don't know, maybe we'll say like 40% introvert, like you're closer
Depends
to
on
the middle.
Yeah.
And you ebb and flow, whereas I'm like, when I do the test, it's like 95% introverted. It's not a question of letter. So, but I mean, they're both 9 wing 8. I mean, we don't know if you're a 9 wing 8, but you're a 9. Yeah. Close enough. I win. Yeah. You are these characters.
All right. Ashley, this was a true delight. What are we going to be talking about next week?
Next week, we are going to find out if death really does have a design. Buckle up, because it's time to head to your final destination. We're going to talk about Final Destination. Did you catch that? Hey, welcome to our first official paranormal story segment of the podcast.
A reminder for any listeners who missed it, our little of this, little of that scary story segment is now going to be exclusively real paranormal stories.
And if you have a paranormal story of your own, we want to hear it.
We've created a submission form that makes it super easy to send us your creepy tale, and starting in June, we will be sharing your scary stories.
We cannot wait to read them, for real. For real, for real. But for now, we are going to kick off our first paranormal story. All right, Sarah, are you ready?
I'm ready. Am I ready?
I don't know if you're ready. This one's not, it's not too much. We're coming in with a good, interesting story, but you'll be able to sleep tonight, I think.
Ooh, hurry, I'm a little nervous now. Let's see.
It's paranormal, you know? We're going to talk about the S.K. Pierce Mansion, which is credited as being one of the 10 most haunted locations in the United States. So I just said it wasn't going to be that bad, but that's pretty haunted.
Uh-oh.
The S.K. Mansion is still standing today and is located in Gardner, Massachusetts, which is pretty close to where we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very close. The mansion itself is striking. It has classic Victorian features. It's 3 stories tall and has a little fourth story tower-ish looking thing. I think it's called a Widow's Walk. And it has a dark gray exterior currently and black shutters. So it's just very spooky-ooky looking. I was going to show you a picture. I have. Here's what it looks like.
That is like if AI created a creepy mansion, what AI would make. It's perfect.
It really is good. So many people think it's kind of reminiscent of the Addams Family mansion.
Yes.
Or the house from Psycho, where Norman Bates lives.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, it just is a classic, creepy Victorian. I think it's gorgeous. I love Victorians, but also, does it look haunted? Yes, it does.
It should be. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
That's true. As for Gardner, I mean, we live very close to that area. I don't think I could tell you a single thing about Gardner. Not one thing. So you're with me. After researching this podcast, I learned that Gardner is known as the Chair City. Because for a very literal reason. I mean, not every city needs a nickname, I guess is what I'll say about that. But it once had a extremely booming furniture industry.
Huh.
Yeah. And one such prominent furniture maker was a man by the name of S.K. Pierce. He was wealthy and successful, and he decided that he needed to build the perfect home across the street from his furniture factory. So he commissioned 100 or so builders. They worked around the clock, and after about 2 years of labor, the mansion was completed. And this was in 1875, just to orient you to the time that we're in here.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I already mentioned that this house is a formidable size, especially for the modest suburban location where it's located in Western Mass. Western Mass is not known for being filled with huge mansions. It had 10 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and it spanned 6,661 feet.
Wow.
6,661. Anything you notice about that number?
It does have a repeating 666.
Sure does. Sure does. Coincidence? I don't know. I'll let you be the judge. The home was immaculately outfitted for the time, which by 1875 standards meant it had gas lighting in every room and running water throughout. But despite its grandeur, it also had some creepier features as well. First, there was the spiral staircase that led to the Widow's Walk on the 4th level. The spiral staircase was enclosed, which not only made for a steep and dizzying descent, but it also prevented visitors from seeing what could be lurking a few steps ahead or behind. And the most hair-raising part of the home was, of course, the basement, complete with, wait for it, a tunnel.
No.
That connected the mansion to the Pierce's furniture factory across the street. It had a frickin' tunnel.
There's never been a tunnel without either a ghost or a serial killer using it. Something weird.
There is no level of New England winter that would motivate me to have an underground tunnel in my basement.
No. Terrifying.
No way. And you just know that furniture factory was big and dark and probably haunted as well. That may have been like the ghosts I could see just coming from the factory where people were probably all maimed from making their chairs in these unsafe conditions, hop down into the tunnel and just like do all the way over to the mansion. That's my theory that I just came up with right now.
Well, I'm getting bad vibes. I'm right there with you.
Ugh, not good. Nothing good came from an underground tunnel. Let's put it that way. So just 2 weeks after the Pierce family moved into their new residence, tragedy struck, and SK's wife died from a flesh-eating bacterial infection.
Oh, God.
SK, however, wouldn't stay single for long. He remarried a woman named Ellen, who was 30 years his junior, less than a year after his wife's death. No judgment, despite my judgmental tone there. I don't know what his life was like. Ellen brought with her 2 young boys, and together the family of 5 would go on to host several high-profile guests in their mansion, including the artist Norman Rockwell and the former U.S. President Calvin Coolidge.
In Gardner?
Yeah. And so, you know, when you're like, they're furniture makers living in Gardner, why? We don't know. I don't know. We don't really know like much else about their lives at this time, rather than they were like kind of living large and apparently a little bit of a big deal.
All right.
SK and Ellen Pierce would both eventually pass away in their home. Nothing really sinister to report there. They left behind their 3 sons who so sweetly battled for the rights to the family business and the house. I guess they just didn't decide that ahead of time and they just kind of had to duke it out. And the youngest son, Edward, won the dispute and became the house's next steward, moving his family in shortly thereafter. So in an eerily similar twist of fate, Edward's 2-year-old daughter tragically passed away in the home due to an infection after they moved in.
Oh,
So
no.
sad. And things did not get easier from there for Edward Pierce. The Great Depression plunged their formerly affluent family into financial despair, forcing Edward to convert the mansion into a boarding house. So now the once dream residence was the landing pad for all forms of mayhem, debauchery, and at least one death. In 1963, a 49-year-old World War II veteran named Eno Sari was burned alive when his mattress mysteriously caught fire. And the strangest part, The room where this occurred was barely damaged, leaving some to believe that Mr. Sari had spontaneously combusted. Mr. Sari's death was the only death documented at the boarding house, but local legend suggests more sinister happenings, including the murder of a sex worker whose body was said to be hidden in the basement. The bedroom where this alleged crime occurred was known ominously as the Red Room. While this murder was never confirmed, future homeowners would discover female pelvic bones in the basement.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the tunnel. The tunnel, I don't care if it was in the tunnel or right outside the tunnel.
No. I don't really want to find out, to be honest. I don't need that. So later in the 1960s, after years of neglect, Edward was forced to give over ownership of the mansion to a friend, marking the first time in the home's history that it was not owned and inhabited by the Pierce family. And this began years of owners buying and selling the property, and where the story moves from tragedy and crime to more paranormal occurrences. Over the years, the SK Mansion began to gain a reputation as a haunted hotspot and attracted psychics, mediums, ghost hunters, and folks probably kind of like us, hoping to just get a glimpse into the paranormal world. So, let's get into some of the haunted happenings reported at the SK Pierce Mansion. Several individuals have reported a sudden yet fleeting smell of something burning in the room where Eno Sari perished years before.
Oh no, that's
Poor
so
guy.
unpleasant.
I know. But the most intense ghostly encounters were reported by Edwin Gonzalez and Lillian Otero, who owned the home from 2008 until 2015. We were just off partying at college. Wait, were we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. After moving in, neighbors told the pair that they enjoyed seeing their small blonde boy run between the windows of their home. Only they didn't have a son. And no children had recently visited their home.
Goosebumps.
Now, that may have startled the average person, but by this time, Edwin and Lillian had been experiencing plenty of paranormal activity themselves. Objects in the home seemed to move on their own. Disembodied footsteps could be heard, and doors would slam shut without warning. Most terrifying of all were their encounters with a shadow figure in the basement, described as having female features, long dark hair, and a wide smile.
Who is still going into this basement?
Like, what? For what reason? The way that door would be bolted shut.
Yes.
I would be like, I don't need to do laundry anymore.
No.
I will wash the clothes in the sink. You are so right. But you know how it goes in the movies. The door opens, you hear something, you think Edwin's down there, so you go to check. Anyway.
No, not me. Not me. I don't go check.
Yeah, good for you. You'd survive a horror movie, maybe. There's a better chance, now that you've said that.
Yeah.
So they drew the line when they found the pelvic bones in the basement and also endured an alleged possession of Lillian. They just up and left after that.
I mean, it took them long enough.
Fair enough, right? Their paranormal experiences were so extensive and so intense that a book was written about it, aptly named Bones in the Basement by Joni Mayhan. You can look it up and read it. I did not read it. I'm too scared. This was
Bones in the
detail
basement
for me. I know, right?
It doesn't bring me in.
Can you imagine that just sitting on your shelf?
No.
So scary.
No.
So the experiences described by Edwin Gonzalez and Lillian Otero are absolutely terrifying. But there are also other haunted happenings at the home that are far less sinister. Several psychics and mediums have suggested that the spirit of Maddie Cornwell haunts the halls of the S.K. Pierce mansion. She was the former nanny of the Pierce children, and it's said that she lingers there because it was the only place that she ever felt like it was home.
Oh, no.
It makes me sad.
No.
Makes me sad for her. Some other visitors of the S.K. Pierce mansion have seen childlike apparitions running through the halls. They've heard giggles coming from the bedrooms upstairs, perhaps the spirit of Edward Pierce's young daughter, who sadly passed away in the home. There are many more ghostly tales of the S.K. Pierce mansion, and if you want to experience it for yourself, it's also open for tours. And in the future, possibly for overnight stays. The tours require currently a signed waiver due to the potential intensity of the experiences and the ghost who haunt the home. So, Sarah, would you dare visit the S.K. Pierce mansion?
Only with you, and probably not overnight.
Not overnight.
No.
No, I am not. I really don't know where I stand on places like this that seem like a hub of haunted activity, of paranormal activity, but also of like dark paranormal activity. Like some of the ghosts seem super chill, and if it was just like the nanny and like the sweet little girl, I'll come vibe with you.
That'd be great. Yeah.
The murder lady in the basement, I'm all set.
Well, I maintain this rule. If we go on a tour this house, we're not stepping foot in the basement. Everyone else is going to be most excited to go to the basement. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'd be surprised if we didn't at least go because it's so close to our hometown.
I feel like we're going.
But I will definitely be doing some like witchy protective spells over us before we like waiver, and also like a cloaking protection spell before we go near there.
That seems appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, that was obviously tip of the iceberg in terms of like, I think if you read that book, just their experiences alone were a book worth of material. So that says a lot about how haunted this house is. But it's a little bit strange because the beginning of the story just kind of starts normally and it has some tragedy, but for the late 1800s, nothing, unfortunately, that was really out of the norm. A lot of people were dying from infection because we didn't have antibiotics back then. Or vaccines. Not to get political on the podcast, but... it was kind of run of the mill, and then when it became a boarding house, we kind of know again around that time what was happening at boarding houses, and those things happened. But then it takes a hard right turn. It's like the Pierce family leaves, and we don't know. There were no stories that I could find of them experiencing hauntings or anything. But it was like they left, and the ghost.
Well, we'll have to go in person and report back.
We will. We'll have to do a follow-up. I think for the haunted places that are easily accessible to us, we have to do our due diligence and go check it out.
Yeah, I agree.
And just remember, everybody, that you are alive and the ghosts are not. So they can't bother you if you don't want them to.
I love it.
That's my official statement.
It's a message of positivity.
Yes, you are in control.
You are being haunted.
Us alone.
Ashley's got you.
I got it.
Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome to the Homebodies. And if you're back again for another slumber party, we're so glad to have you.
If you haven't already, please take a quick minute to leave us a review and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And also follow us on our haunted social channels. You can find us at Haunted Homebodies Pod. Until next time, and remember, when in doubt, just stay home.